Yo, what's going on, guys? The Iron Can here. We got the patch notes for Season 2 of Dragon Ball The Breakers. So I just wanted to go over this and talk about everything that's going to be coming to the game when Season 2 goes live. So the biggest change is the change to role selection. So originally, if you guys don't know, if you haven't been playing the game, there was a priority system. So you didn't get to choose your role, you get to like set your priority. So you got to choose between neutral, survivor priority, and raider priority. If you had raider priority, you would have to play matches as a survivor to earn priority. So after every game, you'd go up 1. So you'd start at 0. After a survivor game, you go to 1, go to 2, etc. Until you play raider, and it would reset to 0. Now they're changing things. So let's see what they're doing. Matchmaking mode where you can choose to play only as survivor. Okay, so now you can only just play survivor here. Okay, so these are the 3 role selects. So survivor creates a room where up to 7 players can join as survivors. Okay, flexible raider / survivor. So this is like the neutral type thing. You could play as either or. So this is a mode. Actually, let me read this. Create a room where up to 7 players can join as survivors. Invite others to your room or make a room key to give to your friends. All right, so let's keep moving here. Flex is when you you don't really care. You could be either or. A mode with shorter matchmaking times. You begin matchmaking with Raider as your desired role. If you're not assigned the Raider role, you'll be given Raider priority starting from the following match. Interesting. So I think the middle option is the original, the way it worked, where you earn priority as you play. Flex Survivor. Yes, okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about. This is where you earn priority after you play matches as survivor. Flex Survivor, a mode with shorter matchmaking times. You begin matchmaking with survivor as your desired role. You're not assigned the survivor role, you'll be given survivor priority starting from the following match. Interesting. I mean, you don't need to choose survivor priority, bro. I mean, survivors, there's 7 survivors and 1 raider, right? So a matchmaking mode where you can play as either a raider or a survivor. If you are not chosen to be the raider in a match, you will have a higher chance of being chosen as the raider in subsequent matches. This is for the flex. In addition, when matchmaking is started with multiple players in the room, they will not be made the raider and survivors for the same party. In addition, when matchmaking is started with multiple players in the room, they will not be made the raider and survivors. So what people were telling me this means is that you can no longer set up a party, and I think this is to combat people that were teaming. This is of course something that I criticize the game for having no type of way for counteracting this, but unfortunately what they've done here is just kind of done a mass sweep. So instead of going after the individuals, they did add reporting. We're going to get to that. They are actually just getting rid of the feature where, say, like I've done streams where I've had 8 people in my party. I've had everybody set their role as a survivor, and I chose the raider. This would allow me to play raider every single game. So I could play raider as much as I like, or if somebody else wanted to play raider, we would all choose survivor, and that one individual would choose raider. This way, people can't do that anymore, and the only way to do things like that, I guess, would be doing custom to do training battles, which kind of sucks because, say, if you wanted to level up your raider fast, this would be a way to do that. But with them adding a raider priority, thing for the lobby, I guess you don't really need to do that anymore. But the worst thing about this overall is the fact that you won't be able to play real matches with friends as raiders, if that makes any sense. So say you have 8 friends, right? You queue up into a lobby, everybody's joined up, nobody can play raider. Nobody can play raider. You'll all have to play survivors is basically what's going to happen now. So it's a fix to the teaming situation, but I don't really know how to feel about it. I get where they're coming from. I do. So I'm not that upset at them, but I do feel like this may not have been the best way to go about it. But let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about this. So moving on, this is what I imagine a lot of people are actually happy and excited for. The fact that you don't have to earn priority and that you could just play as the raider outright. So Regarding room keys will no longer be displayed as default. Okay, so I'll just read this too. Hold on. Begin matchmaking as a raider. It might take some time to find a match if many players select raider as their desired role. So, to be completely honest with you guys, it will probably take you a long time to find games when you select raider, just because raider is the most popular role to play from the outside. If you're a hardcore breakers player like myself, you probably enjoy playing survivors more just because, you know, you enjoy like the rush. It's more satisfying winning, but a lot of people coming into the game want to try out Vegeta. I want to try out Vegeta, and some people are probably coming to this game for the first time and want to try out the other raiders. So raider queue times will definitely be the longest, hands down, with the survivor queue time being the shortest and the flex being, you know, kind of the middleman. So room keys will no longer be displayed by default. Room key display settings can be changed from the room menu. It's not really that serious. I mean, you could have hid the keys before, so nothing really crazy there. I guess it's just for streamers like myself. Results screen improvements report function. A list displaying the results for each player has been added to the results screen. So I guess this allows you to see what letter rating that each survivor has gotten and what, you know, how well each survivor performed. Players can now be reported for unfair gameplay directly from the list. Such players can now be Bro, they fucking watched my video, dude. They know that reporting. It's ridiculous that this wasn't in the game from day one. Honestly, it should have been in the game from day one. Bro, a reporting feature, come on. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. Raider characters section added to the menu screen. The Raider characters screen can now be accessed from the base menu. So I guess instead of going into the options menu, there'll be a little Raider thing on the lobby, I guess, is what that means. Raider characters section improvements. Added the preset function. The preset Raider can now be displayed in the following areas. The character illustration in the bottom right of the menu screen. The launch animation played when an opponent is found. The default character displayed on the briefing screen. I guess the preset just means what Raider you're gonna queue up as, maybe? Or like you could switch more easily. I'm not really too sure what that means. I don't even really see why that's even necessary, because when you queue up, you could switch your raiders anyway. I don't know. Alright, so improvements to character customization. On the shop and character visual screens, it's now possible to zoom in and display animations when previewing costumes. You couldn't do that before? Okay, that's fucking stupid. Okay, I mean, that's good. That should have been in the game. Alright, that's great. I'm glad they added that. Avatar edit screen improvements. For the character creation screen, you can now change your appearance starting from your current avatar. Awesome. Awesome, that's great. Because originally, say if you wanted to change your character's appearance, you would have to start from scratch. I had a hair in my mouth, sorry. You would have to start from scratch. So say if you made your character all pretty nice the way you like it, you would have to go into the character creation screen and start from ground zero and have the default guy and then start from there. So now you don't have to do that anymore. That's nice. Manual section additions. Added pages to the manual describing the playstyle of each raider. I mean, that's good. I guarantee you fucking 2 players read this shit. Nobody's reading, bro. We're Dragon Ball fans. Nobody fucking reads. Nobody's reading this shit. But I mean, it's good for people that, you know, want to learn more about the game for sure. They made minor display adjustments, etc. The following is a description of various fixes and game balance adjustments. Okay. Corrected an issue where performing certain actions while floating via the floating device active skill would be incorrect. So basically, a lot of players use the floating device, and you don't know what that is. Basically, you would jump and you would hold this little floating thing, and it allowed you to float. And people would spam it after they jump to kind of get little bursts of speed. This is nerfing that. I don't know why they're nerfing that, because it really wasn't that great. I personally never really used it. I didn't really feel like it was worth it, but they're nerfing it for some reason. Corrected an issue where certain raider key blasts and key waves were being canceled by a survivor's key blasts and key waves. That sounds kind of cool, actually. Alright, I guess they're taking that out. Corrected an issue where mid-jump movement speed compensation would cause the player to move at above the normal speed when moving via the hovering device. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Bro, they're really nerfing the fuck... Oh! Oh, okay. Floating device is the bounce pad. This is the bounce pad. Okay, so this is adjusting the bounce pad. This is what I was talking about. This is the hovering device. I had it incorrect. That's my bad. So, correct an issue where performing certain actions while floating via the floating device. Active skill, incorrectly alter the placement. Okay, so both of these are being adjusted in some way. Alright. Correct the effect range for Wall of Defense active skill? Why the fuck are they nerfing Wall of Defense, bro? Like, 10 people use that ability. It's definitely a high skill ability. It basically allows you to tank a hit, but I don't know why the fuck they're adjusting it as if like it was oppressive or anything like that. Notice how there's no nerf for the Bulma bike, by the way. Corrected the lock-on function so that players can no longer lock onto targets that have moved outside the attack range with Ki Blast and Super Move animations. That's good. That's good. I hope that goes for both Raiders and Survivors. I imagine it does, since it doesn't specify. Corrected the effects of the Energy Barrier and Angry Shout active skills so that they can destroy buildings as intended. What? Energy Barrier? 17's ability can destroy buildings? So basically, if you pop 17's barrier, you could walk into a house or like random items and just destroy them for free. I don't know why you would use that to do that, but I guess you can. Angry Shout should do that. That's Boo's knockback ability, so that makes sense there. Alright. Corrected the effect range of Break Strike active skill so that it will no longer go through terrain. Holy shit. That's Frieza's ability. I didn't realize it fucking did that. So, that's good. Apparently that move was OP for a long time. Corrected the Charming Pose, Solar Flare, Go-Go Gum, and Krillin Shoe active skills so that players will remain in place when using these skills in mid-air. Oh, okay. So maybe this involves the floating device. So basically, certain moves that you use after popping the floating device, you can kind of like slide in midair afterwards using. So I guess this will allow you to not move. You kind of like stand in place when using these abilities. Or like say if you're using Charming Post and you fall, you're not going to fall. You're going to stay in midair and then fall afterwards, I imagine. Other minor corrections, thank you. Thank you, Debs. Adjust the content during battle. Made it so that looking at the Dragon Raider while moving in a vehicle will lower your movement speed. You did it, Debs. That was fucking broken. Dude, so if you don't know what this means, if you're on a bike and you look at the radar, you're going to go slower. Why? I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's just like, why? That's just such an unnecessary who gives a fuck nerf. But okay, Survivor nerfs, we love it. Made it so that if the area in which Shenron is being summoned is destroyed, the Dragon Balls will be reset, and summoning will be interrupted. What? Made it so that if the area in which Shenron is being summoned is destroyed, the Dragon Balls will be reset, and summoning will be interrupted. Huh. People were telling me this means that you can like cancel the summon and go to another area. But I'm gonna have to see this in practice. They worded this really confusing, like, made it so that the area in which Shenron is being summoned is destroyed. Dragon Balls will be reset. I don't know what they mean by the Dragon Balls will be reset. What the fuck does that mean? Alright, moving on. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what the fuck you think. Corrected an issue where the escape action was inaccessible for the Go-Go Gun active skill. Corrected an issue where the escape action was uncancelable for the Go-Go Gun active skill. I don't really know what that means. I don't know if this applies to Boo or Survivors, because both have access to Go-Go Gum. They didn't really specify here. So I guess you couldn't get out of Go-Go Gum with an escape ability. Interesting. Made it so a sound effect will play once flying is canceled when suppressing Ki while in midair. Okay. Oh, I imagine this is for Cell, or like you hold R3 or the, you know, the right thumbstick in on console and stop flying. I guess you still heard this flying sound effect. I guess this is so you could sneak up on Survivors easier as Raider. Adjusted the dodge timing when you cancel actions such as placing a power key. I don't really... Adjusted the dodge timing when you cancel actions? I guess you could roll off the key or something like that. I'm not really sure what that means. Adjusted the placement of item boxes on the map to improve fairness. I hope when they say that, that's in Survivors' favor and not fucking over Survivors. But, you know, maybe... I mean, Survivors are pretty strong right now, so I don't know. We'll see what they mean by fairness. Made it so a sound effect will play when hitting a target with a long-range attack. Okay, yeah, because sometimes you could hit somebody and not even fucking realize it, depending on how far away you are. Added an effect to make the location of the nearest altar more obvious once 7 Dragon Balls have been gathered. Okay, so this has been a struggle for me, because sometimes I want to summon an area X, where the Super Time Machine spawns, and I didn't know where the fuck it was, so that will help me and other players that don't know where the pedestals are. Made it so that you can cancel active skills that charge before activating by pressing and holding down the skill again. Interesting. Addition made it so that after being charged, the skill can only be used by inputting a normal attack. Interesting. So for PlayStation, if you hit R1 to use your super attack, you'd have to hit R1 again to use the ability. Now they changed it where you hit R1 and then you'd have to hit square to launch the attack. Interesting. So this is all the news. In terms of the update, I mean, the biggest thing is the roll queue stuff, right? So yeah, the big thing is, I'm really curious of what you guys' thoughts on it. I know people are mixed on it. The fact that you can't group up with your friends and then play Raider with your friends. You can't do that anymore, from my understanding from this. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll experiment. Overall, I think this update is good. I'm glad they added a reporting feature. Some of the nerfs I feel like were kind of unnecessary. Some of these additions were definitely great, like the character customization things, just quality of life changes and whatnot. But yeah, guys, overall, I think this is a good patch. It's definitely not like monstrously bad like we had in the past. So overall, I think the guys, you know, Breakers devs actually did a good job here. And, you know, we'll see this patch go live in a couple hours. And I have a lot of videos coming, boys, so make sure to be subbed up for that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a like and comment down below your thoughts on the patch. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.